a review for pre-calculus for our big quiz coming up, covering sections 1 through 4 in chapter 1. Vocabulary first. The Cartesian coordinate system was named after the French mathematician and philosopher René Descartes. And it's this last part of their name, Cartesian, that they got that from. An equation of a line in the form ax plus by equals c is referred to as the, I like standard, your book likes general. Each point in the plane can be associated with an ordered pair of numbers called the coordinates of the point. Vertical lines such as x equals 4 has a slope that is undefined. And horizontal lines such as y equals -3 have a slope of 0. You could also put the numeral 0. Okay. So we have points. Point A at -2, 6, and point B at -4, 4. And we are supposed to find the length of AB. So the distance formula is the square root of the change in x squared plus the change in y squared. So we just plug in those numbers. So I'm going to have -2 minus -4 quantity squared plus 6 minus 4 quantity squared. And it looks like I'm going to get 4 plus 4, because this would be 2, and this would be 2. 4 plus 4 is 8, and then that simplifies to square root 2. Okay. 7, we're supposed to find the coordinates of the midpoint of that segment, and midpoint is where I take the average of the x values and I take the average of the y values. Average, add them up, divide by 2. So -2 plus -4, -6, and 6 plus 4 is 10, and so I get -3, 5 for the midpoint. And then for number 8, I'm supposed to find the slope. The slope of a line is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So for our 2 points, it's going to be 6 minus 4. Remember that if I do 6 minus 4, I have to do -2 minus -4. Looks like that's going to be 2 over 2. The slope of that line is 1. Then for number 9, I'm supposed to find the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. Well, I already have the slope. The slope is 1, and then I want to use one of the points, and there's several different ways to get here. I like to use point slope form. I think you guys prefer using the slope intercept method, so I'll do that. Y equals x plus b, then I plug in 6 for y and -2 for x, and I solve that for b. B is 8. So the equation of this line in slope intercept form, because that's what it's asking for, is y equals x plus 8. Then for number 10, we're supposed to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of that line. So we have -2, 6 is our point A, and -4, 4 is our point B. Okay, so we want the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So that means the slope of the perpendicular is the opposite reciprocal of 1, because the slope of the line AB is 1. Therefore, the slope of the perpendicular is -1. The reciprocal of 1 is 1. And the point I'm going to use is the midpoint of AB, and that point is -3, 5. So again, I'll use slope-intercept form, y equals minus x plus b. Then I'll plug in 5 for y and -3 for x. And that -3, when I plug it in, I have a -3, which is +3. And then I solve that for b. And the answer is y equals minus x plus 2. That would be the equation of this line representing the perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, moving right along. Number 11. We have 3x minus 2y equals -12, and 2x plus y equals 8. And we're supposed to solve these simultaneously for x and y. So in other words, where do these two lines intersect? Okay. And so, I look for, in my plan, I look for, does something have a coefficient of 1? And that y right there does. And then I look above, and that's a -2y. So if I could make this a +2y, the y's would drop out, and I would be able to solve for x, and then plug that in and find y. So my plan is I'm going to multiply this by 2 and get 4x plus 2y equals 16. Then I'm going to rewrite that top equation underneath there, and I get 7x equals 4. So x is 4/7. That's not nice. Make sure I didn't make a mistake. 16. 3x minus 2y, -12. Gone. 4. So I'm going to plug that back into this equation. So I'm going to have 2 times 4/7 plus y equals 8. And that's going to be 8/7 plus y equals 8. And I need to subtract 8/7 from both sides. Well, this would be 56/7, right? And 56 minus 8 would be 48/7. And again, even our fancy calculators do the fractions. If you go to alpha F1, that's your fraction button. And I actually did that prematurely. First I want to put 8, and then I want to put minus. Now I need my fraction, and my fraction is 8/7, and I get 48 over. And so these lines intersect at the point 4/7, 48/7. Okay. Doing the same thing for number 12. -2x plus 3y equals 7, and x minus 4y equals -1. Well, fortunately, I gave you a problem where there is a variable with a coefficient of 1. So I look above and this has -2, which means I need a +2 down here. So again, I'm going to multiply this equation by 2. That'll give me 2x minus 8y equals -2. Rewrite that top equation underneath it, and I get -5y equals 5. So y is -1. Then I'm going to plug that in to here. Y is -1, so x minus 4 times -1 equals -1. X plus 4 is -1. X is -5. So the point where these two lines intersect is at -5, -1. 13. Find the slope and intercepts of the line with equation 2x minus 3y equals 3. This is number 13. So I'm going to put that in slope-intercept form to find the slope. Okay, so -3y equals -2x plus 3, and then divide everything by -3, I get 2/3 x minus 1. So the slope is 2/3. This gives me the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, -1. And I could go anywhere and plug in 0 for x. If I do that right here, I'm sorry, 0 for y. And if I do that right here, I get 0 equals 2/3 x minus 1. 1 equals 2/3 x. So x equals 3/2. That's going to be my x-intercept. So it wanted the slope, it wanted the y-intercept, wanted the x-intercept. I could have also, right here is an easier place for me, I think, to find the x-intercept. If I let y be 0 up here, then I have 2x equals 3. And obviously x is 3/2. Okay? But whatever works for you. Find the slope and the intercepts of the equation of the line with the equation y equals 5. Well, that's a horizontal line. So the slope is 0. If it were a vertical line, I would write the slope is undefined. Remember, no slope isn't in our vocabulary. And the y-intercept, because it's a horizontal line, it has a y-intercept. But also, because it's a horizontal line, there is no x-intercept. It does not cross the x-axis up here. Okay. And the value of h joining point 7, h and 2, -5 that is parallel to the line y equals 7x minus 5. Okay. Well, if they are parallel, they have the same slope. The slope of this line is 7, so the slope of the parallel line is 7. Okay, so that means 7/1 equals, I'm just going to use the slope formula, take y minus the other y, so that'll be h plus 5 over 7 minus 2. And cross multiply, I get h plus 5. 7 minus 2 is 5, times 7 is 35. Okay, so h equals 30. That's all we need to do for that. Okay, if I can fit the next one on here. undefined slope. Okay, slope is undefined. And the x-intercept is -2, 0. So what that means is the slope is undefined, therefore I have a vertical line. And -2, 0 is over here, and that is the vertical line that we're speaking of. The equation of that vertical line is x equals -2. And that's your answer for number 16. That is it. If you have questions, make sure you contact me and we get that taken care of before we take this big quiz. Okay, and we'll go from there.